Recently, a ton of people have been loving my Google Sites tutorial videos. One I did on Google Site icons for social media, and the other one I did on a complete Google Sites build tutorial. And basically, a lot of people have been leaving really cool comments wanting to see more, so I thought today I would update you on some features in 2021 for Google Sites, as well as just some other features that I found that I don't think a lot of people know about, and are really good to create this professional but also simplistic Google Sites website that, again, is completely free. And I think it's really great that people are finally finding Google Sites because it's a great program, probably the best free website builder in my opinion, and I think a lot of people just didn't know about it before, and now everyone's discovering it, making great websites with the program and sending me the links to them, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing, so I just thought I'd help you guys out some more and make your websites even better. So let's jump into it. So like always, the first thing we're going to do is go to sites.google.com, where you just access all of your information for Google Sites, and I'm just going to open up the site that I've been working on lately. As you're going to be able to see, if you've seen my past videos, I have made some updates to this website, upgraded a few different things that I'm going to be showing you today. So if you've watched my previous videos, you know that Google Sites previously didn't really have options to adjust fonts. The only fonts you had were the themed fonts. So if you chose a theme like Vision, the only font options you'd have were the font styles, and you'd only have these 3 different options. But thankfully now, in Google Sites, they've completely changed that, and you can pretty much use any font that you want. So as you can see here, I have this kind of typewriter-looking font for my website that was inspired by some other sites, but basically, if you click anywhere on your fonts now, you can see that under the font drop-down menu, you have all these different options that are built into Google, and you can also go into more fonts and look through their entire library, which is super cool. You have all these different options now. So that was honestly something that was really limiting Google Sites from other website platforms. You really just couldn't change the font that much. The fonts they had did look pretty good. They were all pretty clean and simplistic, but now you just have a lot more flexibility to get creative with your site. But one tip I'd have about this is to not go crazy with the fonts. Don't switch the font on every page or halfway through the page. Generally, you're going to want to keep the same font throughout the entire website just to keep continuity. So that's just my only advice, but now you have all this different flexibility with fonts. So as you can see on my site, if I go into one of my other areas, like if I go to my video section, you can now see I've changed the font in all these different areas. So all these headings and all this downspace down here, I've changed the font. So it just looks a lot cleaner in my opinion. It's just the style I'm going for, but again, you can change it to whatever you want. And with these new fonts, you can now change the text color as well, which is something you couldn't do before. So if you just click on it, go up to this little A here, you can click text color and change it to something like red. So you can get more stylistic, adjust your website the way you want it, and you don't have to be locked into that black or white world. You can get much more creative with the colors. So I think that's really cool. So the next thing I want to talk about that I don't think a lot of people utilize is the pages icon in Google Sites. Now this has actually been around here for a long time, and you might know you can change your different pages. You can add all your new pages under this section. For example, like me, I have video, photo, YouTube, things like that. But before, what I had is all these clustered sites. So I had a bunch of different links down here, which just made it more confusing, less simplistic, and just worse for a person visiting your site. So now what I've done is under video, you can see there's a drop down here, and I have different links under that, which makes it much cleaner and much easier to find your work and organize it neatly. And how you do this is actually really simple. Once you've made your base page, say video here, all you have to do is click the little 3 dots on the right hand side and then click add subpage under that. And you're going to name your new subpage, let's just say short film, for example. You click done, and it creates a new page under this page, which is really great and helps you to find stuff easier. So for example, if I go to my sidebar to navigate to something, you'll see video here, and if I click the little drop down here, you can now see short film is one of those bars under there, so it just makes it a lot easier to find things and organize your projects. So if we look at my specific website, for example, if we go under video, when I first click video, it's going to bring up my normal video page. So it has a heading up here, and then all my different work. So cinematography, some examples of that, editing, some examples of that, and so on. But if we go back to the navigation page, what you're going to see is all these different drop downs. So if I click from the ashes, for example, it's going to bring up a specific page just for my documentary. So it's not clustered in between all my other work. It's under video, but it has its own sub page. So it's really neat here. You can see we have the title here. I added a little log line here so you can have an idea of what it's talking about, the short film, and then some images that relate to it. So I just like that formatted style. Again, you can do whatever you want, but I just think this is a cool idea to integrate into those sub pages where you can add specific projects and works that you've done. And so again, for another example of this, if we go back into my drop-down sidebar, you can see we have from the ashes. If I go to the next one, we have the workaround. Again, the same format, title, description, video, and then we have some still photos under here. And then if we go back again, you can see I've added some of my commercial work. So this is going to be commercials that I've done, a little bit of information about them, and then just order where you can